I'm Micah Ariel James. I'm the Outreach and Equity Coordinator for the City of North Liberty, and I serve on the North Liberty Community Pantry Board. And I am joined by Ryan Bobst, who is the new Executive Director of the North Liberty Community Pantry. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to this new role?
I grew up in Iowa, in Parkview, north of the Quad Cities, and came to the University of Iowa for social work, undergraduate and graduate degrees, and have just always been passionate about making a difference. And that led me to see an opportunity back here in North Liberty with the community pantry that is doing a lot of great work. And I wanted to be a part of that to make a difference here in the community.
What led you to social work?
Experiences with my privilege and being challenged that way to find different avenues to use my privilege and make a difference for people that did not have those same opportunities that I had was something that drew me into social work.
And you've referred to yourself as an anti-poverty advocate.
Yep.
What does that mean?
So to me, being an anti-poverty advocate means fighting poverty, not the people in it, and focusing on addressing systemic issues that are creating the circumstances that people find themselves in. So trying to work upstream to address more root causes, and rather than focusing on a deficit of a person.
So how does that translate to your work that you're going to be doing here, that you've already started here at the pantry?
Yep, absolutely. Translates perfectly. So the community pantry provides the food and clothing and connecting our neighbors to resources in the community. So having the opportunity to address both immediate needs, but then also work on an education level and an advocacy level to ensure that policies are in place that support families in Iowa.
So you have a pretty diverse background of the types of roles that you've been in and the types of service that your past roles have included. Some career readiness work, some early learning work. How do you see those diverse experiences that you've had leading into the kind of work that you're going to get to do here at the pantry?
The North Liberty Community Pantry is absolutely a resource for our neighbors, and that's been very clear in the first couple weeks of my role, and seeing my background with having some diverse experiences in the past. I've already been able to field some calls requesting for referrals and assistance for issues outside of food and clothing that families have. So they certainly see the pantry as a one-stop shop for a lot of those resource needs to make sure they get connections to even affordable housing and childcare. And so using my background to connect those families has been helpful so far.
What kind of work do you do to put yourself out of work? Or what kind of work are you interested in doing to make sure that eventually, if possible, that we don't need pantries because all of the needs are met?
Absolutely. I think it would be wonderful if I didn't have a job. That if people in our community had what they needed and didn't need additional support beyond that. And in order to achieve that, that is important to me to work upstream and address root issues, root causes to food insecurity and housing needs and childcare needs that persist for the families that come to us for those basic needs.
So speaking of the pantry, so some people have probably heard rumblings of a building expansion, as there is increased need and as services are cut, statewide and in other ways, there is more need and there is more service to be done in the community. What are some of the things that are kind of in the pipeline for the pantry?
I know that coming in to this role, that's one thing I'm excited about is the growth opportunities that are in front of us in order to meet the need that exists in the community. And there are some conversations happening about expansion based on the needs. So I know in the last year we've grown over 80% in the number of families that we serve. So the population has a large need, and we are bursting at the seams in terms of able to provide the resources, and we don't want to be in a position to have to turn donations away or have to turn families away. So being able to expand our footprint to grow into that. So I know there's some initial building plans, and there's been conversations with the First United Methodist Church in North Liberty about some location for where we might be able to break ground on a new space, and those conversations are ongoing.
To the extent that you're comfortable sharing, what's your vision for the North Liberty Community Pantry?
My vision for the North Liberty Community Pantry is that we're the path where the community goes to meet the resource needs of our neighbors. And that includes food and clothing and basic needs, and making sure that we're connecting neighbors to those resources. It's also treating our neighbors with dignity and respect, and making sure that they feel welcomed coming into the pantry for needing those services and asking for help because of their situation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.